the Monday edition. Mr. Irrelevant, I'm Alex Strouf with you from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, episode 298. We're getting real close to 300. By the way, I missed it on Friday's show. We've been doing this we're entering year 3. September 11th was the anniversary, 2-year anniversary of the show. I didn't mention that last week, so figured I should mention it today.
I think we should just make it 9/12.
Probably a fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
It's a weird way to celebrate with that. That number has one meaning and being like, yeah, 9/11 is our anniversary.
Yeah.
We'll just move it to 9/12. Who could stop us?
Well, the facts of life would be incorrect, but it's
people
fair.
will forget. After 15 years of this program running, they'll forget.
Joshy's setting the bar high. I like that. I like that by JOSHY. JOSHY DiMaggio's here. Hunter Vaughn is running the show in the Everlight Solar Studio. And we will get to Will at some point. We're going to do an early edition of Will's Weekend Review after the Bears blunder to the Detroit Lions. 52-21, the final score of that game. But week 2 just about in the books. 2 games to go tonight. Me and Will were just talking off the air. These games could either be blunders or really good. Both of them. Buccaneers-Texans has the potential to be, what did you call it, Will? An ass-off?
Mega
ass-off. Yeah, that's what it was. At 6 o'clock Central, Buccaneers at Texans. The Buccaneers want to know the Texans lost their week 1 opener. And then the late one, 9 o'clock start centrally. I was going to stay up for it. Now I'm waking up early with JOSHY and Gabe tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to make it for Chargers Raiders, which kicks off at 9 o'clock. You'll be asleep before that game kicks off, I would assume, JOSHY, huh?
Yeah, most likely. What time?
It's a 9 o'clock kick.
Yeah, no. I mean, I usually make it into the 9 a.m. hour.
PM.
Yep, PM. But I'm usually closer to sleep than awake.
I was going to say, I hope you make it to the 9 a.m. hour. Goodness.
Make it there usually.
Yeah, good. That's good. What time do you wake up on the weekends?
5:30.
No.
That's sleeping in, baby.
Ew.
No. Yeah, no. All right, plenty.
Sometimes it's much earlier, but that 5:30 is me being like, yeah, I'm going to get some extra sleep tonight.
Okay, fair enough. All right, couple of good games yesterday, couple of bad games yesterday, all the in-betweens. Bills beat the Jets big, Seahawks beat the Steelers big, Ravens beat the Browns big, Lions beat the Bears big, Falcons beat the Vikings big on Sunday Night Football. So there was quite a few blowouts and not very entertaining games. Now, there was some entertaining games, but none to do with the Packers. And I think if you watch like Eagles Chiefs, for example, I think you can make that one about the Packers because I think, as we said Friday, and I will further say that today, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers are the 2 best teams in the NFC. I think after watching 2 weeks of Eagles football, I'm getting closer to saying, I think the Packers are a better team than them right now through 2 weeks of the NFL season.
I think if you compare the Packers 2 games and the Eagles 2 games, the Packers have been better.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to bear out with the records at the end of the season, at the end of the regular season, but the Packers probably have been the best team. Bills have a better win by beating the Ravens.
Yeah, and then they win. They back it up in week 2 with I think it was 30-10 over the Jets.
But the Jets are turbo ass.
What does that mean?
That is the highest extent, the greatest honor of ass. Turbo ass. The most ass you can get.
We need to put them into like an order so we know.
Yeah, should we power rank ass rankings?
Is Turbo more than Mega?
To me, it does.
What about?
I would say Turbo is bigger.
I think Ultra needs to
Ultra
be,
ass.
Yeah, Ultra.
That would be good. I think every week we should designate a team that is a certain level of ass. So like this week it would be. Would you say Ultra ass?
Turbo ass.
Turbo ass. Ultra ass is another one. Mega ass. Who did you say was mega ass?
Jets.
Where do the Bears fall in? I know you don't want me to spoil anything with Will's week coming up, but
super ass.
We could just decide what teams are in the ass bucket, and then we tier the ass teams.
Yes, I was going to say, Big Cat always does his power rankings and tiering. Tiering is a very popular thing. I think our version needs to be just a tiering of the ass teams.
We could just create up a new adjective for each type of ass for each type of team.
There are currently 8 2-0 teams in the National Football League. There will be a 9th tonight, depending on who wins that late game between the Chargers and Raiders. And then there could be a 10th if the Buccaneers beat the Texans. So we would be up to 10 2-0 teams after tonight, potentially. We will have at least 9. We were talking a little bit off the air. I think there are 2 2-0 teams who fall into the ass category.
Yep.
the Arizona Cardinals and now the Cincinnati Bengals, who will be without Joe Burrow for 3 months. If they stay alive, maybe he could make a return towards, around Christmas or so, right before then. But I'm ready to call both those teams ass too, despite being 2-1. Now, granted, the Arizona Cardinals have beaten the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers, who are also some level of ass, some variation of ass. This is the least serious conversation we've ever had in the show. It's unbelievably good.
Cardinals are stinky ass.
That one feels a little too explicit. I don't know why.
Stinky.
I'm good at the adjectives.
Yeah, you're a words guy. That's what you're known for.
That's what you're known for.
Is it concerning that he's flourishing with ass words, though?
Concerning wouldn't be the right word. I think it's
surprising.
No, that wouldn't be the right word either.
I mean, you are probably the foremost expert on this panel on ass football teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know one when I see one.
You are a dumbass.
Whoa.
Okay, now you're being mean.
Yeah,
Cross the line.
That's also like I was born into it. I didn't choose.
I was thinking about that, and not to get in. We'll leave the actual conversation.
No, actually, I think we should just go to it.
Here's what I'm going to say, though. I had a thought as the Bears were getting trounced. Like, I don't know if I would remain loyal to my team if they were the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I think I would still enjoy football, but I would lose all hope. I wouldn't be excited for the season. I wouldn't give them any of my money via merchandise or...
Yeah. I told Will yesterday, you are more than welcome to jump ship. We will take you. We will take you.
I don't know. The vibes around.
I would never do that.
I know you would never do it.
Like...
But I am giving you an out.
I'm not saying being a Bears fan is better than being a Packers fan, but it's just like the integrity of being a football fan. You cannot switch over to your arch rival.
Okay,
yeah. If you decided to be a Raiders fan, I'd be like, okay, I'd question your decision making.
Yes.
Or a Chargers.
Let's move some things around. So I do want to talk about the fact that I believe through 2 weeks the Packers have proven they're the best team in the NFL, and we can talk about that at length in a bit. But we're gonna flip some things around. I just want to get to the chorus. Will does every Monday, if you're just joining us for the first time, every Monday during the football season, we have enlisted Will, the genius he is, to give us his best Chris Berman impression and talk about something that happened over the weekend. In the off season, he was doing a lot of Brewers, did some hot dog eating contests. He's made Father's Day and Mother's Day jokes. In the football season, though, we've kind of told him, hey, let's just focus on 1 or 2 games. So today, I believe Will has looked at the Lions-Bears game as in-depth as he can, and he is going to present what he believes to be his best work ever on Will's Week in Review. So here we go. Will, the floor is yours, Bears-Lions style, 52-21.
Hunter?
So since the Packers played on Thursday, I decided for my Will's Week in Review, we're going to have a conversation about the Chicago Bears and their game yesterday at the Detroit Lions. But first, to get the real story, the full story, let's go back to January 31st, 2022 at Hallis Hall in Lake Forest, Illinois.
What am I about? And what's my philosophy? We're going to build through the draft. We're going to acquire young, fast, and physical football players.
In 2024, Ryan Poles potentially picked the 4th best quarterback and the 5th best wide receiver with the 1st overall and 9th overall pick. Out of the 4 first and second round picks in the 2025 NFL draft, Luther Burden was the only one to record a single stat yesterday with 1 catch for 5 yards. 2 of the 4 draft picks were healthy scratches yesterday. Ryan Poles has now drafted 34 players as the Bears GM. 26 have played 1 or more seasons. None of them have ever made a Pro Bowl. He's the only GM in franchise history to accomplish that feat.
We're going to be selective in free agency, and we're going to connect evaluation with valuation.
We spent all offseason upgrading an offensive line that can't remember the damn snap count, traded 3-time All-Pro linebacker Roquan Smith for a 2nd and a 5th round pick, traded a 2nd round draft pick for Chase Claypool. The Bears have the 5th most expensive defense in the NFL that allowed 52 points to the Lions and made J.J. McCarthy look like Adam Sandler in The Longest Yard. Signed a kicker in Cairo Santos who can't kick the ball 3 feet off the ground to a 4-year, $16 million contract extension.
We're going to have a relentless approach to fix our weakness.
Weakness should not be singular, it's weaknesses.
We're going to maintain great self-awareness of who we are.
Off-season champs, 3 years running.
We're going to solve problems with open communication and candor.
Caleb Williams in 2024, after quarterbacks coach Thomas Brown got promoted to offensive coordinator. We haven't really talked much through this time. We just haven't been in the position to have many conversations.
And we're going to consistently put players in position to succeed.
Let's take a look back at the Bryce Young trade. The Bears traded away the number 1 overall pick to the Panthers for DJ Moore. You passed on Jalen Carter for Darnell Wright. You got Tyreek Stevenson, who looks more lost than Tom Hanks in Castaway on defense. A quarterback who goes through his progressions like a 1995 IBM computer and gets the ball tipped at the line an incredibly frustrating amount. And Luther Burden.
And the last thing, the most important piece, is we're going to take the North and never give it back.
Today is September 15th, 2025. Since October 14th, 2024, the Chicago Bears have won 1 game. The Bears are 15-38 with Ryan Poles as their general manager. They are 3-17 against the NFC North. Ryan Poles has been rebuilding for 4 years and has put the Bears in last place in the North and have never given it up. And yet, despite all of this, the Bears signed Ryan Poles to an extension through the 2029 season.
With your Will's Week in Review, I'm Will Sommers.
I'm speechless.
It kind of puts an end to our Bears conversation for the day.
I think I got all of it.
You could have been more harsh about Caleb.
I mean, he referenced a 1995 IBM computer.
Yeah.
That's how angry he was. I'm speechless. That was brilliant. Where did you record that?
In my closet.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The sound, I had to get into an enclosed space.
Were you standing
I wanted to do it after the game when I was really mad, so I waited until the game was over and went home and did it.
Were you standing in a dark closet?
No, the lights were on.
Okay, you have.
But I was sitting crisscross applesauce in the middle of the floor.
Really?
Yeah, I had my notes.
That's what
I'm floored. That was brilliant.
That's what this has done to you. I mean, the Poles extension is one of the. I mean, I celebrated the fact he was getting extended, and it didn't take as I tweeted today, it didn't take like a rocket scientist to figure out that was probably a bad move, and he was undeserving of said extension. I understand what they were trying to do with like lining up the timelines for the coach and They decided maybe we shouldn't piecemeal this rebuild and we should actually go for it. But there is no case to be made for positivity.
No. Zero.
No.
Because even if Caleb improves, I don't think he will, the team is so bad everywhere else.
They are.
I mean, like I said, they have the 5th most. He's had 4 years to rebuild, and they've only gotten worse. They've gotten worse every single year. They started out his first year, they were like 7-9 or 7-10 or whatever. You're like, oh, it's not bad. They just keep getting worse. Every damn year. We spend more money, we get new players, and we just keep getting worse. It doesn't make any sense. You have to try to be that bad. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
To a great fan base that cares. It sucks. And Caleb wasn't good, but he wasn't the reason they lost.
The issue is we're not done here. Because we received a text from Will last night that read this. Hunter?
1 second. Sorry. Computer is deciding not to. We'll get it. We'll get it.
It's okay. It's okay.
You want me to read it? I'll read it.
Yeah, you read it. In your voice, I would like to hear it.
I don't even care. I'm almost ready to start preparing to potentially have the conversation about Tyson Bagent. Yeah, Caleb Williams, not good yesterday. Was he the reason they lost? No, but he's not good.
Hold on. Slow down.
Actually, I turn off my mic.
Slow down.
Sorry.
It's okay. Just slow down for a minute. I'm almost ready to start preparing to potentially have.
Yeah, that gives me a lot of time. I was separating some space there. But the thought crossed my brain yesterday, what if Tyson Bagent is Tom Brady and Caleb Williams is Drew Bledsoe? I had the thought yesterday.
I just want to throw out there, it's week 2! It's week 2!
I'm just saying.
Well, now, since we've brought up the Bajent, we were at 15% last week.
Yep.
What's our Bajent meter at today?
I think I overshot it last week with 15. I think I'm at like 17 right now. Like I said, like Caleb was not good. That interception was horrible. That was so bad. But he wasn't the reason they lost. I mean, when you give up 52 points, you're not going to win a lot of games. But it was bad.
How good are the Packers after watching what the Lions did to your team yesterday?
I mean, the Packers might score 100 points.
They might.
They're going to get defensive touchdowns, too.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah. They'll
Yeah.
pick six.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you will not see the Packers for a while. I think December 7th is the first game between those two teams.
Yeah. Maybe we won't have a team by then.
I was going to say, with things getting worse, I don't know if more or less time is good for the Bears. Because you figure the Packers defense is probably going to continue to improve. You'd hope the offense would take strides. And the Bears are somehow getting worse.
They are potentially the worst team in football.
And somehow they're favorites this weekend against the Cowboys at home.
I think we need a solidarity Cowboys pick here.
Yeah.
Just all of us. We
all join Hunter in solidarity.
I'm not opposed to it. It's horrible. Who's making these odds? Like, who watched that and was like, yeah, let's favor these guys over the team that put up 400 yards on offense?
That's a good point.
Uh-huh.
They did also give up 500 yards, but
I mean,
you mean the Cowboys did?
Yeah.
To the Giants, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's going to be an ass off then.
Russell Wilson.
The problem is I don't think the Cowboys are going to be able to score. That's clearly a
Yes,
thing they're
agreed.
capable of.
Agreed.
I don't think the Bears can score like that, even with the Cowboys' defense not being very good.
I don't think
Nobody
Caleb
knows
Williams.
how to stop the Bears.
I was
Yeah,
just
but
going to say,
nobody
I
knows
don't
how to stop the
think-
Bears' offense more than Eberflus does.
Are you sure?
Good pop.
I was just going to say, I don't think Caleb Williams can process fast enough that, I have somebody wide open because Trayvon Diggs decides to stop dropping into zone coverage. And apparently Matt Eberflus is allergic to man coverage. But it's going to be an ugly game. Like, I'm
that's
almost
gonna be-
not looking
talk
forward to
about
this, Will.
Talk about a mega ass off. There's another one for you.
I'm sure as hell not looking forward to it. But I'm still going to watch. I'm going to get so sad after. I do
my
every
goodness.
week.
This is
It's a 4-win team.
I can't believe you're this down in week 2. Like, what are you going to look like in week 14?
The only thing that keeps me like a little positive is I think about the Lions in 2022 where they started like 1-7, then they beat the Packers. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that as a slight to the Packers, but they went on a good run. The second half of the season was my point.
Weren't they like 0-10 or 0-8 that Jared Goff first year?
Dating back to
I think they had a win, but I think they were like 1-7, 1-8. That would have been 2022.
I think so.
2022.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was good.
It feels like somehow, with the way the division played out in a lot of the games, that the Packers added a win yesterday without being
So
on the field.
I was going to get to that. So, because I agree with you, it just feels like we can further the narrative that this division is all Packers, right? It is totally their division. The good thing, and I think this is an encouraging thing for Packers fans, is the Lions look like they are completely back. Granted, it was the Bears by all means. But I don't care who you're playing. If you score 52 points in the National Football League, that's a really, really impressive Sunday by the Detroit Lions, and great rebound by Jared Goff, Monroe St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, all of huge days against Chicago. And that's the same offense who a week prior could do nothing against the Packers defense. They could do nothing. They were completely dumbfounded by what the Packers were throwing at them defensively. And they rebound in week 2. And again, I think this is a team we all agreed coming out of week 1 they would still be competitive and a real contender in the NFC. And they completely looked at yesterday, which, Josh, I think to your point is, that's just validating. It's another piece of verification of how good the Packers have been the first 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Because I think going from week 1 to week 2, we all talked about it last week. The one thing you want to see is verify defensively what you did against Detroit. Do it again against a different type of good offense with a mobile quarterback in Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, and that's exactly what they do. They verify it. But now the Lions come out, score 52 points after getting boat raced by the Packers in week 1, and I think that's another level of, oh, wow, the Packers are that good this early? That's what I view. That's how I view it, as almost a third win for the Packers in week 2.
I think the Lions are better than what we saw against the Packers.
Of course.
I do think the Packers and probably 3 other teams are a clear tier above them. I think the Packers and Lions flip-flopped their Super Bowl contender versus like elite contender. There's 4 teams right now that seem to be that, being the Ravens, the Bills, the Packers, the Eagles. And then I think there's a mix of like 6 teams in that second tier that are probably, they could do it, but seems unlikely based on the level of competition. And the Packers have one goal the rest of the season, and that's stay healthy. Stay healthy, manage the injuries the best you can, and just go out there and do what you know you're capable of. I was looking at the schedule, and remember when we talked about how difficult the schedule is?
Yes.
Doesn't look that way now.
Not anymore, no. And obviously now, a team like Cincinnati, who's coming to town on October 12th, it's going to be Jake Browning, right? And all of a sudden you feel a lot less worried about that
I think
game.
the Packers would have beat them even without Mike.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but I think it's obviously
It'd have been a closer game.
Without Parsons, you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I still think the Packers were the better team and are.
I look ahead at the schedule. I think the Packers could be 8-0 going into that Monday night game in early November against Philadelphia.
They could be.
They've got to lose eventually.
Yeah,
but
there's hiccup opportunities there, just based on the NFL being weird, things not working the way, unfortunate turnovers that could lead to points for another team.
Yeah,
but there's 4 games you look at as like, well, this one might potentially be. Could go the other way.
Do you look at Dallas like that at all?
No.
Okay, so I'm assuming Philadelphia, week 10.
Yep.
The Packers obviously have the week 5 bye week, so 8-0 going into that game potentially. At Detroit on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Assume is one of them. Versus Baltimore.
Yep.
Is one of them.
I think the Broncos on the road.
At Denver on
just
December 14th.
because weird things can happen in Denver at the altitude with a defense that is that good on the other side. I think that's a squirrely, you could lose that game.
Yeah.
I still think the Packers are going to go into that favored, though.
Yeah. Mike chimes in, Strouf, you're giving too much credit to the Lions. They basically played a preschool kickball team. I agree.
That was at least a high school level kickball team.
They're an NFL team now. I know they didn't look it. I know they didn't look it. But they are an NFL team at the end of the day. And the Lions to rebound the way they did just validates how good the Packers were playing here early in the season. That's all I'm saying, Mike. I agree with you. Mike also chimes in. Jerry Jones admitted his mistake yesterday by signing Jadeveon Clowney. I don't know if he views it as a mistake necessarily, because Kenny Clark had a really good day. But yeah,
he was a stud.
Hunter said it last week. It's hard to win football games when you don't have a pass rush.
Yeah,
fair point.
They also this is a very Cowboys move. They're going to go and move somebody, and then they'll bring some aging veteran in after they've moved them. This is Jerry Jones and just what he does. So it isn't admitting a mistake. He fully believes he won this trade. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Of course he does. 2 first-round picks. It's not like, I do believe they could have gotten more than they got 2 first-round picks in Kenny Clark.
The Eagles specifically. Now I understand why he wouldn't want to trade him to the Eagles. And that would have been horrifying if he did for everyone else.
Yep.
But I got to imagine there was other teams at least willing to pay the freight the Packers did, if not more.
I don't think so. Because the rumors are they reached out to Carolina, asked for the same package, but they wanted Derek Brown, their really good D tackle. Carolina said no. They also reached out to the Jets because Jerry went on ESPN New York, and wanted Williams, and they said no, we don't have the assets to be able to move him. So
let's be fair though about that. Micah Parsons isn't an addition to those teams that makes a lot of sense.
Correct. It doesn't put you over the top like it does with Green Bay.
Yeah.
But
or hopefully puts you over the top.
I think for what the Cowboys were wanting in a player back, I think the Packers were the only one that was going to be able to do that because of Kenny being much more movable than a young D tackle. Sure. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is I just think that the Packers were the only one, and Jerry was like, okay, fine.
Well, and the problem is Jerry made the terms. he pigeonholed himself. He backed himself into a corner.
He did.
Which he often does.
Has to be teams with defensive tackle, and has to be teams with cap space.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those were his 2 requirements. And he obviously the cap space thing is what it is.
Cap's made up.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is.
Micah Parsons is barely affecting the cap this year.
I know, which is bonkers to me, but hell yeah, dude. And he's been that big of an addition. So hold on. I want to go back to something you said, Joshy, and that was if the Packers stay healthy. Here's what I've done in my brain, and I know I put this on the internet somewhere. I just don't remember where. TikTok or Instagram or something. I have it down to like 5 players, and I believe if all 5 of these players stay healthy, the Packers Super Bowl odds are very, very much intact. And that would be Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs offensively. You can maybe throw Tucker Kraft in there. And then defensively, it's the guy at all 3 levels. It's Parsons, Cooper, and McKinney. I think those 5 guys are healthy.
I think you can withstand Cooper the best, even though how good I think he is. I think there's enough there where the replacement level wouldn't be as big of a drop off as all those other positions. If you know it,
I would agree.
I think Tyron Hopper is probably better than we realize. I think Isaiah McDuffie has also played well enough in that spot where it would make sense. But I think Edgerrin Cooper just is he raises the floor a whole lot. I should say raises the ceiling. I don't know how much of the floor he really impacts there.
I'm sorry. I'm very distracted. I must have missed this in Will's weekend review. Was that your face on Mac McClung's body dunking basketballs?
Sure was.
Okay. I must have missed that.
It was me in the dunk contest.
Why?
It actually wasn't my face. It was my entire body.
Okay, again, why?
I don't know. I found an AI app and just started AIing myself doing cool stuff.
So just to make you feel better in general?
Yeah, I mean, this was like a year ago I made that, but yeah, I was bored. Started AIing myself, playing basketball in the NBA.
All right. Just wanted to confirm on that. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, we all agree, I believe. Right now, through 2 weeks, the Packers look like the best team in the National Football League. We'll see where they rank in some of these power rankings that typically come out tomorrow. Philadelphia's still going to be in the conversation. Buffalo's still going to be in the conversation. Baltimore's still going to be in the conversation. I think those are the 4 best teams, though, are the Eagles, the Packers, the Bills, and the Ravens.
If I typically know how this stuff is done, in that top 4, because it gets pretty boring, the Packers are going to shoot up and be first or second, and the Eagles will drop or something. Because you got to give people a reason to click.
Yeah. I agree.
Because keeping things as is not really that entertaining.
It's fair. Would agree on that. All right. So we did this on Friday. We taught everybody how sports gambling works.
Yeah.
I thought we did a great job.
It's a good use of our time.
Yeah, odds have moved a little bit, actually. Packers are 4th now by themselves. The Bills are still plus 550 for Super Bowl winner. The Ravens and Eagles now both tied at plus 600. And then Packers are plus 700.
Wow.
So, and then it's another ginormous jump. Kansas City plus 1,300 is 5th.
I think I nailed that, saying there's 4 Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, you did. Wow. Good job.
Patting them back to me.
Josh
and
was
the
right.
NFC odds, the NFC odds have stayed the same. Eagles and Packers both plus 350. And then the Packers odds in the NFC North have gotten significantly better. Minus 200.
Yeah.
Got to bet 200 to win 100. Lions have once again leapfrogged the Vikings. They are plus 350 in second place in the NFC North. So that's just some context as to how people are looking at this Packers team. They're that good. They're that good.
It's nice to be back here. It's warm and cuddly.
It's been a few years. Yeah, man. It's been a while. Mm-hmm. It's been a while.
It's been what is it? 3 seasons since we were considered one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yes.
Such a
dark
drought
days for us.
21 was really the last time because 22 they didn't even make the playoffs. That was the last year of Rodgers. 23 it was the house money season. Last year people thought they could take that jump. They didn't. Mm-hmm. They won 11 games. They improved their win record. But it never really felt like they could compete against the best teams in the league.
Pat on the back to us for sticking through the dark days, the tough times.
Shut up.
The tough part is Will's on the phone right now, so he can't even respond. Poor kid. All right, that is That is our NFL talk for today because I want to get to a few other things in the state of Wisconsin that occurred over the weekend.
I got Jesse Nelson's really ticking me off
Why's that?
because of the way he's talking about the Badgers.
So I listened to him and Corey Sparks in the postgame show from Monks and Middleton. And I texted them at some point, probably over an hour into the postgame show. And I said, you guys sound great, doing a good show, but where is this optimism coming from? I just don't get it.
No.
38-14, the final score is Alabama cruises past Wisconsin.
They're lucky it was only 38.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some big missed opportunities from the Alabama Crimson Tide. I know people are trying to not be the fire the coach, let's move on. And I'm not even really saying that explicitly, but the way the goalposts have moved for what's success and what's positive outcomes
Correct.
is crazy.
That's the thing that bothers me or scares me or concerns me the most is the commentary around the Badgers. Like, when did we become losers?
Yeah.
When did we become so accepting of mediocrity might be a compliment? Like, this team, number one, they didn't compete. And I don't know that we anticipated them to go into Tuscaloosa and win that game by any means, but you would have liked to see them be a little bit competitive.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that at all. And the other part of this is when it comes to the Alabama commentary, it goes, well, I heard Jesse Nelson say this several times. Well, Barry Alvarez lost to Alabama. Brett Bielema lost to Alabama. Paul Chryst lost to Alabama. Yes. This Alabama team is not those Alabama teams.
No.
This Alabama team's going to lose 4 games this year. They're not going to make the playoffs. So to go on the road, and I didn't expect them to win, but at least give me something to be excited about. It's now year 3 of Luke Fickell, and I have seen nothing to be excited about. Maybe recruiting, but again, that doesn't always equal wins, and it hasn't for the Badgers. So I'm embarrassed for Badgers fans. Because when did we become so soft? When did we say, oh, wow, they only lost by 24? That's a great effort. No, it's not. No, it's not. And that was my big thing this weekend. Okay.
Yeah,
I feel better.
The goalposts have moved so far back that people were like, well, that secondary isn't one that is going to compete with SEC teams. There was the takes of just basically how we shouldn't go in expecting to beat an Alabama team, and it's like Luke Fickell was brought here to do that. He wasn't brought here to be competitive in the Big Ten.
Right.
He was brought here to elevate the program to a point where they're competing in a much larger field for the national championship, the tournament at the end of the season.
And that's a point that I think we're losing sight of.
Yes.
And look, I get Rome wasn't built in a day.
No.
I didn't expect an immediate turnaround from whatever they were in the Jim Leonard, Paul Chryst was fired season 6-6, I think. I wasn't anticipating, boom, in year 1, they're going to be college football playoff favorite.
Right.
But 3 years in, I'd expect them to at least be competitive. And at least give me something to be excited about. They will not be bowl eligible again this year. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that.
Have they? Where's the improvement at all? I know the Paul Chryst era towards the end was not great.
Yeah.
But do we think there's anything building here? Is there any case to be made for optimism in any real way?
I don't think so.
This takes a while?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
There was maybe, and Hunter, we'll get to you in a minute.
Because I'm ready to go.
There's probably some things, Hunter, I know you are. I figured there's some things that you saw and said, okay, that's an improvement, right? Like, I have a hard time nailing down exactly what it was.
It was through a good chunk of the first half, they were holding Alabama to like 1.5 yards per carry. And then Alabama was like, wait a second. We have 2 wide receivers that are going to be fringe top 10 NFL picks and a 5-star quarterback. They've got 1 corner that they actually expected to be starting a game. We'll just throw the ball. And then, like, Emilio Ogard, I can't pronounce his name. Like, he was expected to be a guy for them next year, and he's their number 2 corner now. So, like, it was literally just Kalen DeBoer's a good offensive mind and was like, why am I trying to run the ball? I don't need to do that. I'm just going to throw the ball at their weakest part of their team. and then that's what's going to happen. And then you have a backup quarterback who makes backup quarterback decisions, turns the ball over in spots where Billy Edwards, one, I don't think is making those turnovers. Two, is hitting Vinny Anthony when he's wide open down the sideline. You're getting a touchdown there. Like the game is different in that spot. I also need to remind some Badger fans, because I went on this rant before and I've been told I'm crazy for it, but I need to remind people again of some other scores of Badgers history. Okay? 2015, week 2, Wisconsin plays Alabama in Cowboys Stadium. Alabama 35, Wisconsin 17. But fine, we'll excuse that. That's Paul Chryst' first year as the head coach. Fine, whatever. We'll completely ignore the fact that Michael Caputo was hit so hard by Derrick Henry that he lined up in the wrong huddle. But, you know, we'll just excuse that one. Okay, 2022, Ohio State 52, Wisconsin 21. Oh, but that's the downturn of Paul Chryst. So fine, we'll excuse it, even though the Badgers never competed in that game at all and they were run out of the horseshoe. Okay, October of 2018.
The game where they were like tied?
No.
In the first half?
No, that was the game where Chris Orr afterwards for a post-game show with Strouf and I said that Wisconsin was not able to compete with Ohio State. 2018, Wisconsin goes on the road at Michigan. Michigan 38, Wisconsin 13. Can't excuse that one. That was the year after the Orange Bowl. That was the year they were supposed to compete for the playoffs. 2019, Ohio State 38, Wisconsin 7. Those were all teams that were competing at a high level like this current Alabama team is. Wisconsin wasn't competitive in any of those games, but all of a sudden, oh, nope, I understand Luke Fickell said the expectation is championships, and I'm still going to hold him to that expectation. But to sit here and pretend that Wisconsin hasn't always been like this with the Michigans, Ohio States, and Alabamas of the world is completely ignorant, and we are completely forgetting what Wisconsin football has been. Outside of a couple of outlier seasons, this has been Badger football. We're just upset about it now because instead of getting Ohio State once, maybe you play Alabama in a non-conference game. Now you get Oregon, Ohio State, Alabama all in the same season, and now you're going to lose more games because of that. This team is going to beat Minnesota for sure. Minnesota looked like mega ass against Cal. I have no doubt about that. They were terrible. Washington, they'll be able to beat them. Illinois doesn't have the receivers Alabama has. Iowa can't throw the ball further than 5 yards down the field. Like, this team is going to compete in these games much better because other than Ohio State, nobody else actually has NFL caliber wide receivers. It's going to be better.
Hold on.
Play this out. What if they don't?
Then fire Luke Fickell. If they are terrible again at the end of this year, go ahead and fire Luke Fickell. I am fine with that. But it is week 3. We expected them to be 2-1 going into this Maryland game, and then this is where they're at. If they lose to Maryland, they get run out of the stadium then against Michigan. Okay, I'm fine with having that conversation. But after they lose to an Alabama team that on the other side of playing it out of saying, well, what if they do actually compete for the playoffs? They're good enough to still do that. They could still be a playoff team. Like, Wisconsin just isn't there yet.
I have to give Hunter credit for one thing.
Optimism.
Optimism, and he cares. Because everyone I'm talking to out who isn't as in tune with it, it's total apathy when it comes to Wisconsin Badgers. A conversation about the Badgers is just kind of dismissed offhand. Nobody really cares anymore. And there's certainly, they still have their passionate fans or season ticket holders, but the fan in general couldn't be more removed from this Wisconsin Badgers program. And that's not how it's been for the majority of my life.
Yeah.
I certainly think Hunter can cherry pick things to make his case. And I think he's right in a lot of the cases he made. The Badgers now on year 3 of a guy who's supposed to be a drastic improvement and was supposed to go to championships has shown no signs of improvement. Have shown no signs of growth.
And he has never had a starting quarterback for a full season.
Well, then stop letting him get hurt.
How are they magically supposed to do that? What fairy dust is out there?
Recruit better offensive linemen.
Again, their old linemen have been getting hurt. Like that's
Then make them deeper. Get the kids in the state.
okay.
Do something.
Okay, what magical?
I don't
No,
want the
hang on,
excuses.
hang
I
on,
want
Josh,
the
hang
answers.
on. We're gonna play something out. Okay, you're a left tackle from McWanago, and you're getting recruited by
Shut
either
up.
Wisconsin.
Nathaniel Roy.
Yeah, exactly. Nathaniel Roy would have been behind other guys on the O-line, so instead he went to a program where he could start right away. That is the situation these kids are in. I've talked to enough of these high school coaches with our Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania, shout out by the way, where they have said these guys want to go and get that NIL money and they want to go and get that right away. You can't recruit the depth you used to be able to by just getting these kids to stay in state. They want to go and play right away. They want to go and get the starter money right away. You can't just keep them. There isn't some fairy dust that is just going to magically have Wisconsin suddenly have the level of depth that everybody expects them to have. These guys want to play, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to have a drop-off from your starters to your backups unless you are Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, Alabama, or Georgia. That's the reality of college football now.
Isn't that the conversation Luke Fickell was brought here to put the Badgers in?
Correct.
Yes, I understand he is not there, but to say that they're not going to compete at all this year, I think is ridiculous. This team is better than what they were the last 2 years and that last year of Christ. This team will compete with these other teams in the Big Ten.
Let's do this. Let's do this. All right. So you believe they're going to win 6 games?
Let me pull up the schedule. I believe, I've got them at like 6 or 7.
I think you just listed 4 games you said they're going to win. You said Illinois, you said Minnesota, you said Maryland, and you said, I'm forgetting the 4th.
They're dropping one of those easy wins.
Iowa. Iowa was the
Illinois
4th
is
one.
a damn top 10 team right now.
Yeah, Illinois is going to smoke them. Iowa
I've got
will beat
Maryland,
them, I think.
Maryland, Iowa, Washington, Minnesota is 4, so that's 6 wins.
So you think they're going to win 6 games?
How many times have they lost in a row to Minnesota?
2.
It's got to be like 4 of the last 5.
Okay, it was only 2.
Yeah, they've lost back-to-back. They won one,
6.
and Minnesota got it back that, like, Jim Leonard, because that was the last game. So, they'll win 6. I think they can compete with Illinois. I think it's going to be a closer game against Indiana. Again, I think Illinois is a great team. My point is that I think the gap of wide receiver quality that Illinois has compared to Alabama, Wisconsin's DBs can cover them better and make it a more competitive game. Because the front 7 for Wisconsin is good.
But you need to score points to win football games.
Yes.
You need to beat good teams.
And Billy Edwards healthy, I think they score far more points. I think the offense looks far better than what it has. They've had a backup quarterback.
I do agree with that.
How certain are we Billy Edwards is good?
We're not. I don't think we have proof.
For all we know, he could be worse than Danny O'Neill.
We don't have Wisconsin proof, at least, and we'll find out. It sounds like he could go again this weekend after missing the last 2 games. So we'll see. But all in all,
because so far, in the brief glimpses I've gotten of the guys that the Badgers bring in here,
can we just keep in mind they were down by a field goal to Middle Tennessee State last week?
Yeah.
After the first quarter,
Hunter fired Fickell.
Hunter fired Fickell?
Yeah, he fired Fickell. Via text message last week.
Yeah, I was a few Door counties in.
Yeah, why don't we ever bring up his text messages? It's all mine.
It's a fair point, Will. It's a fair point.
It feels good to get it out, though, doesn't it, guys?
It does. I just had to vent a little bit.
Shut up, Will. So ultimately, the last thing on this, then we'll get to the Brewers. I think Josh nailed it. Luke Fickell was not just a replacement for Paul Chryst. That was not the way that hire was talked about, evaluated, and it wasn't the reason they did it. The reason they hired Luke Fickell was because they had legitimate belief that he could come in and make this a national championship team. It was the biggest head coaching swing of that college football offseason. He was viewed as the top candidate to take over a major program. So the Badgers, rather, went out and took that swing on Luke Fickell, and now into the third season, it has not looked pretty at all.
If you were to ask Chris McIntosh in a moment of complete honesty, if you asked him, has Luke Fickell met expectations, underachieved, or exceeded?
I believe he would say underachieved.
think you would
Yes. I do want to just let Mike in the YouTube chat know, I do know that Wisconsin is recruiting in-state players. I did the
too. Yeah, just not that well.
Just not that well.
There's also, hang on, because I did this exercise on one of our Prep Mania shows. Like, you go back to this last recruiting class, you had two guys whose dads played football at Notre Dame. They went to Notre Dame. You had another kid here from Verona, Trey Poteet, was a 4-star recruit.
Yeah.
He's playing in Tennessee. His dad was an assistant coach for the Badgers under Christ. The university then fired him. Like, of course, he's not going to go to Wisconsin then, and was technically an in-state kid. Like, there's just a level of, like, the last couple of years where it like, oh, okay, his parent went there, or they have connections to these other schools, so they just weren't getting these top-end guys.
What
Pay him
happened
more.
to the like 3 kids that went to Penn State?
That was the tail end of the Paul Christ has 0 recruiting staff working at the university. They had a relationship built at Penn State. Fickle comes in, tried to flip them, and you just have 4 years of built-up relationship with another guy. That's why there's a kid from Middleton who committed to Paul Christ when Chris got fired, decommitted and committed to Minnesota because Minnesota was his 2, then got to know Fickle, and he flipped back to Wisconsin. So, like, there are those. Yeah. Like, it's just, that's a part of this, too, that people seem to forget, is that you have coaches who have built up relationships with these kids for 4 years in this state. Fickle comes in, and you're starting to see more of it now coming as he has been recruiting these kids and talking to their coaches for the last 3 years.
Maryland, one of 39 unbeaten teams in college football through 3 weeks. They're 3-0, coming off of a big-time win against Towson, 44-17.
It's also something that we need to talk. We should talk about the just pathetic schedule that a lot of these Big Ten schools are playing, and then getting inflated records.
I heard you talk about it on College Game Day during your scoreboard update.
Yeah,
10 of those
Indiana
39 unbeatens, by the way, in the Big Ten.
Indiana putting up a 70 burger on FCS Indiana State. Whew.
Yeah.
I looked at the stat lines of that game.
It was
If you
absurd.
got time and if you've got some free time, just go ponder and peek through that.
73-0.
It is truly a trouncing.
Oh, wow. Fernando Mendoza, their starting quarterback, 19 of 20, 270 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Look at his QBR.
Wait, look at the other
93.4.
quarterback. You're going to
What do
see
you need to do
Mendoza
to be
pop up
better?
again.
So I assume they're not related, but their
No,
backup
they
quarterback's
are.
name is Alberto Mendoza.
That's his little brother.
Is that his little brother?
Yeah.
He went 6 for 9, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Passing in that game. Kobe Martin, their running back, 11 carries, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh my! Omar Cooper Jr., the wide receiver, 10 catches, 207 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
For Omar Cooper Jr. Wow, that is something.
The most curious thing was the first Mendoza. He got
Fernando, yes.
He had 1 incompletion and 5 touchdowns and a 93.8 rating.
What more can you do?
Not enough yards.
Just some team stats for you. Just some team stats for you, real quick, before we get to the Brewers.
Yeah, the discrepancy in total yardage.
First downs. Indiana 33, Indiana State 5. Total yards. Indiana 680. Oh my goodness. Indiana State 77. It's 600 more yards than them. Wow.
Yeah.
No turnovers in that game, surprisingly, despite the 73-0 score. How many times did they punt? 10 times.
They used 2 punters.
Yes, they did. They punted 10
Leg
times.
got tired. He was cramping up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sheesh. Can't blame them. All right. Brewers have officially clinched a playoff spot thanks to the Mets losing Saturday during the day. They go on to have an unbelievable come-from-behind win over the Cardinals in extra innings on Saturday night to get win number 91. They win that series, win Friday, win Saturday, lose yesterday. They get a day off today, but 91 wins now for the Milwaukee Brewers, who have officially clinched a playoff spot. They are, I believe it is 8 is the magic number. I am also very confused by how the magic number is calculated, to the surprise of nobody. I don't get it.
It's like gone up at some points too. Like they'll get a game on a win and then it'll go up 2. It's very confusing how it all works.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, because if they
Now,
lose and
again-
someone else wins,
Yeah, right. It's just like one game though, and then another team
I don't
wins.
know what's. I don't
So
know
hold on.
what's
So
confusing about that.
let's just say it hypothetically, because I know the Brewers are off tonight. But let's say
Josh,
they
I'm
play
on
tonight.
your side with this.
Okay, I gotta close.
Seems pretty
I
straightforward.
gotta close my eyes. All right, I gotta close my eyes for a minute. So let's just say the Brewers play whoever tonight, and the Cubs play whoever tonight. Okay, the Brewers win and the Cubs lose. What does that make the magic number? If it's 8 right now, does that make it 6?
I don't know if it's that
Oh, but I'm the
straightforward.
idiot.
I don't know if it's that straightforward, but it's the amount of games they would have to win. Like this, it's irrespective of like what's happening around them. It does influence it in the way you talked about it, but if teams that are potentially like going to win the division or going to win, there's a reason those numbers. Like, if the Brewers just did what they needed to and won every game, that's their magic number. So they need X amount of wins to get to said number.
I'm on a website called playoffstatus.com. Okay. The Brewers, to get a first round bye, need to win 10 games.
Yes.
In
So
order-
if they won 10 games and the rest of the Phillies won 10 as well, the Brewers would be able, like, you know what I'm saying? No matter what's happening, you win 10 more games, you get that spot.
Okay. It's 8 for both the 2 or the 3 seed. So first round bye and then first round home field advantage.
Yeah, it seems like they're.
Or I guess that would be a wild card.
They're gonna. They have a really good opportunity.
They're 4 games away from being the top or clinching the top wild card at the very least.
Yes.
And okay.
So it's no matter what happens. If they win 4 games, they are the top wild card seed. They can lose all the rest of them. They will guaranteed be that. Then they win. They win
get it.
10 more
I get
games.
it.
They are guaranteed to be that. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I get that part of it. I just have
You
always.
seem to not.
I know. Can you tell that was unnecessary?
It was unnecessary. It was more confusing when it wasn't just the NL Central, though. Now it's definitely dumbed down a lot. Like, basically, you just need the Brewers to win, the Cubs to lose.
All right, let's do
That's
this.
what you can root for.
Let's get to what we missed and what we learned, which is presented by Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. Brandies, whiskeys for your old fashions, rum for a little summertime drink. They've got vodka, they've got gins, all the in-betweens. Door County Distillery is the best. I used a recipe from the website last night. We had some friends over. I mixed up espresso martinis, and I used the recipe on the website. Cream of coconut, chocolate syrup, the Java infusion, which I have a bottle of at home. They were really good. Bartender Strouf over here. Pretty good at it. DoorCountyDistillery.com. Find that huge list of unique cocktail recipes as well as the retailer nearest you. Again, that website, DoorCountyDistillery.com. All right, we got to talk about this. Speaking of the Brewers. I completely missed this Ken Rosenthal thing. I didn't see it until I was with Josh today. It was like 11:15. I'm like, what is everybody talking about? Ken Rosenthal. What the hell did he do? Roll the tape, Hunter. So after the come from behind win on Saturday, Ken Rosenthal was avoiding Andre Monasterio, who he was interviewing, who got a Gatorade bath. He then ran into the Brewers team photographer, knocked him over, and then gave him like the dirtiest of dirty looks.
And shook his head.
And shook his head at him. Yeah. And I mean, the camera angle couldn't have been a whole lot better than what it was for Ken Rosenthal because it just made him look like a total jerk. He's now gone on to claim he apologized and said he wasn't actually as angry as he appeared.
I don't doubt that he probably eventually realized an apology was worthy at that moment. I think the biggest thing to take away from it is when you run into somebody backwards, for your natural reflex to not be like, oh my gosh, did I just hurt somebody? What was that? But to look back in anger and disgust and walk away shaking your head, I think tells you a lot about a person.
Agreed.
I've certainly had instances where I've bumped into somebody and I wasn't mad, did not cross my mind.
No, and to not have the reflex to help him up is strange to me.
I understand, like, you're doing a live broadcast, but yes, I think most people in that spot naturally go, "Oh my gosh," and try and pick that person up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, the apology seemed rehearsed and forced, or the statement on that. It did not seem natural.
Quote, I was surprised at how upset I appeared as he knocks over Scott Paulus, who is the team photographer, has been the team photographer for years and years and years. I've met Scott. Great guy. Tough break for him.
What do you mean I was surprised at how upset I looked?
That's what he said.
I know, but like, those were your actions.
Yeah, he did it. So I don't know that part.
You were surprised that all the things we've heard about you seem to be accurate?
Another piece of news that just came out that we missed. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels, who underwent an MRI following the loss to the Packers, has been diagnosed with a sprained knee. Not a long-term injury, but Daniels' status this week is in doubt. That according to Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network. So maybe no Daniels as the Packers got to him a little bit.
Did you see the other piece of potentially breaking news from the Packers?
No.
Apparently, the Bengals inquired about Malik Willis.
What are you giving up for him?
Get a first-round pick back. First-round pick.
If they want to extend a second, I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't think they'd send that much. I thought they liked Jake Browning. He didn't play a very good game, though, yesterday.
I think they just sort of... I don't know if they really want to... I think that was probably a due diligence call.
Probably.
Because they do need to replace a quarterback on the roster.
They do.
So I imagine it was like, hey, maybe for whatever reason, Malik Willis is much cheaper than we anticipated.
Yeah, Jake Browning, the hero yesterday, though, did score the late touchdown to give them a win over the Jags. Speaking of the Jags...
Do you think the Joe Burrow Industrial Complex is going to collapse a little at all with Jake Browning seemingly keeping the offense as good?
Yeah, but if he keeps it afloat, Burrow's going to come back, and I don't think that would help your complex. Well, it would help the complex. It would help the narrative that the complex is falling apart.
He's also made of glass, so a strong breeze is going to make the complex fall apart too, and that's becoming a bigger problem.
It's every other year for him.
I feel like we do the Jake Browning thing every year. Like, I feel like by week 6, Jake Browning.
We didn't do it last year.
It feels that way, though.
But 2 years ago, he played for most of the season for them because Burrow was lost for the season. It's like every other year for him. It's crazy.
How many wins did the Bengals have last year? Was it 9?
Yeah, 9-8.
I think Jake Browning could get.
Well, they're 2-0. Off to a much better start than they were last year.
Yeah,
because I think they started 0-3, didn't they?
I believe so.
So I'm leaving the Brewers game on Friday night, and I'm standing in line for a shuttle. I always take one of the shuttles from the bars, and 3 Cardinals fans walk past us and just start chirping us about Trevor Lawrence. T-Law's better than Jordan Love. I yelled back, no, he's not.
Sick brag.
Cardinals fans about Trevor Lawrence. There's not even a connection.
Yeah, that's St. Louis to Jacksonville. I don't get it.
I think it's a muscle memory thing, because they lost their football team as a city, they slowly start losing ball knowledge because they're not using that part of their brain, and they just
Trevor
don't
Lawrence
understand.
Stinks.
I agree. All right,
Already waving off his coach.
Since Caleb Williams texted Tory Taylor, hey, you're not going to punt too much here, Tory Taylor has punted 92 times, which is the most in the NFL during that time period.
That does it for us today. We're back with you Wednesday beginning at 12:30 Central, ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the in-betweens. Just search Mr. Relevant will be the first thing that pops up. Joshy, thanks. Will, great job today. Hunter, big one this weekend. Bears, Cowboys. Solidarity game for us. Can't wait.
You can have this one, Hunter. I don't even want it.
Okay.
We'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. We'll talk to you on Wednesday. Peace.